season, and a lot of people are getting their allergy symptoms confused with coronavirus symptoms. It's easy to do, but we have a doctor coming to tell you how to tell the difference.
One of the biggest challenges of the pandemic has been providing enough personal protective gear for our healthcare workers. Meet the Ohio couple that came up with a way to clean the N95 masks.
I was describing what ICU looked like, where the airflows were. We got into it right away.
And a lot of us are really in need of a haircut. Mike Holt to the rescue. He has his tips for cutting your own hair.
This is where it's really a lot of guesswork. What I do is if something's longer, then I just cut it off. So let's cut that off.
We're also checking the bathroom off your to-do list. Tips to get it all organized. Plus, we're going to be adding some color to your yard. We have some ideas on the perfect spring flowers to add to your landscape design. What's new starts now.
And now, live from WKYC Studios, this is What's New.
Happy Tuesday, everybody. Welcome to What's New. I'm Betsy Kling, and my co-host Jay Crawford is joining us from his house once again. Jay, the president is expected to give his daily briefing within the next hour. Of course, we're going to bring it to everybody as soon as the president arrives. Looks like they're going to be doing out in the Rose Garden, so that'll be interesting to check in on that. That being said, we do start each day with the newest information you need to know about the coronavirus. So, Jay, please start us off with that.
I sure will, Betsy. Hello to you and hello to everyone at home. We start with the numbers here in Ohio. There are now 7,280 cases statewide. Proper context here with that number. The state's cases had increased 6% each of the previous 3 days. Today's jump is only 4%. 324 people have died of coronavirus in Ohio. Ohio's Attorney General filed a lawsuit against a Chagrin Falls man for hoarding N95 masks and selling them for nearly 18 times the retail price. And Governor DeWine warned that when we start reopening the economy, employers will still need to think about how to keep their employees and their customers safe until a vaccine is available. And the big message from the governor's daily press briefing today: we cannot stop now. Dr. Amy Acton says we've hit the peak here in Ohio, and social distancing is more important now than ever before in order to keep it that way. She also announced a new order to keep our frontline heroes safe. Laura Queso now with more on that part of the story.
State leaders say this virus is going to stick around until we have a vaccine, so we need to keep making changes to keep up. Right now, with a lack of personal protective equipment, Dr. Amy Acton is issuing a new order to share the names and addresses of positive COVID-19 cases with dispatchers. This is so first responders can properly protect when responding to an emergency. The information will be kept confidential.
This is very important. So for our frontline responders, remember that anyone might be carrying the disease. Even someone who has recovered can still be potentially shedding the disease. It's so important, and as we move forward, we're going to be talking about universal masking.
Dr. Acton stressed today she wants to make sure every Ohioan has a mask. She's also mentioned that we could be using those masks in some capacity for the next year. Coming up at 6, what the governor had to say about changes to health care, plus his reaction when asked about opening up the economy in a safe way. Laura Queso, 3 News.
Thank you very much, Laura. Well, now on your feet at 5, will we ever go back to the way things used to be? This is a daily question for a lot of folks right now. But federal and state leaders are working on a plan to reopen. Tiffany Tarpley shows us what life may look like once the stay-at-home order is lifted.
There are calls to open the state, open businesses, get the economy moving again. Dr. Amy Acton has said we'll likely be using masks or some sort of face covering for a year. And that's what we're hearing from most experts. There will be continued changes like social distancing until there is a vaccine. Ohio State Senator Andrew Brenner says we need to start opening the economy sooner than later.
I think a lot of people think that if you turn the economy back on, it'll just suddenly everything will be back to normal, and that's not going to be the case. This is going to be a multi-week, multi-month, maybe even a multi-year process.
With revised models showing fewer new daily cases of COVID-19, he says there needs to be a plan now so businesses can prepare. Coming up at 6, we're going to dig a little bit deeper into what our everyday lives could look like once the stay-at-home order is lifted. Tiffany Tarpley, 3 News.
Well, keeping track of the spread of the virus is tricky. It's that contact tracing that has been going on. Well, how do you know if you've been in contact with someone who has the virus? Now, 2 of the world's largest tech companies, Apple and Google, are teaming up to make the task easier. Or are they? Brandon Simmons explains how it works and what it may mean for your privacy.
Apple and Google aren't the kind of companies that typically get along. They're pure rivals in the smartphone industry. I mean, one has iOS and the other has Android. But together they control more than 90% of the industry, and they know it'll take teamwork for any sort of contact tracing app to be successful. Together, the 2 companies will use Bluetooth technology to find out when your phone is near someone else's. That's when the 2 phones will share anonymous keys with each other and store them. If at some point later down the road a person tests positive for coronavirus, they put it in the app. If you've ever shared keys with that person, you'll get a notification too. Now, the main concern about an app like this is privacy and making sure your data isn't being shared with the masses, and that one of these 2 companies or the government isn't using it for reasons you don't know about.
The single most important aspect is that it has to be distributed. It has to be decentralized. There needs to be no single location that has the information on who came in contact with whom, because that can be too easily abused by a government in particular.
Now, Apple and Google laid out some rules surrounding privacy already, saying users must give explicit consent to be part of the program and that no personal or location data will be stored. Also, the list of people who you've exchanged keys with never leaves your phone. Now, the rollout has 2 steps. First, users can download the apps to make it possible in mid-May, and second, the Bluetooth contact tracing functionality will be made available in the coming months. I'm Brandon Simmons, 3 News.
Wow, Brandon, fascinating story there. Big news for hospital workers on the front line of the coronavirus fight. The FDA has authorized a second company to decontaminate those critical N95 masks, but this process happens, well, it actually takes place at the hospitals. The machines, which are manufactured by Advanced Sterilization Products out of California, were already being used in at least 4 hospitals in Ohio to sterilize surgical equipment. But now they'll also be used to decontaminate the masks, and they can do so in less than an hour.
You take a mask and you put it in a type of packaging that allows you to transport it and manage it in kind of a sterile environment that comes out of the sterilizer, the SteriAd device, and you load the device with about 10 masks for each load. And then there are automated settings on the device that allow you to run different cycles through the SteriAd unit. It basically takes that work and makes sure that you have a decontaminated mask when it comes out the other end.
The machines can sterilize about 400 masks a day, and consumer investigator Danielle Serino will have more on this story at 6 on What Matters Most. Well, we've told you about the Ohio-based company Battelle that is able to sterilize up to 80,000 of those N95 masks in a single day. But do you know the story of how it all started? It's pretty interesting. Lorain native Dr. Lori Homama is a family physician in Columbus, Ohio. She was sharing her concerns with her husband about safety equipment at work. The issue, the single-use N95 masks, which she needs to wear in the hospital.
I think we could run out of personal protective equipment. And I think I even said specifically N95s. And to him, it was just a complete no-brainer. He's like, well, you know, you can just decontaminate those. I said, no, what do you mean you can decontaminate those?
Turns out her husband's company, Battelle, actually developed the plan to clean and reuse the N95 masks years ago, but hospitals didn't even know it. That one dinner conversation changed the course of action for protective gear nationwide. Romney Smith will have much more on this very interesting story tonight at 11 o'clock. Betsy?
Well, that certainly is one thing that is coming out of this whole coronavirus pandemic is the invention and innovation and how new things are coming out very quickly. Russ Mitchell joins us now with some more updates on the headlines, which includes one such innovation.
That is true, Betsy. Good afternoon to you, and good afternoon to you at home. The first saliva test to help diagnose coronavirus has now been approved by the FDA. It will be available to hospitals and clinics affiliated with Rutgers University, where that test was developed. It could eventually reduce the risk of infections for healthcare workers. Former President Barack Obama endorsed Joe Biden for president today, saying Biden has all the qualities we need in a leader right now. Of course, Biden served as President Obama's vice president for 8 years. This follows yesterday's endorsement of Biden by Bernie Sanders. And Ohio's mail-in primary election is 2 weeks from today, April 28th. If you have not voted yet, you need to request a ballot by visiting the Vote Ohio website or follow instructions on a postcard you should have received from your Board of Elections. Once you get a ballot back, fill it out. Make sure it's postmarked by April 27th in order for it to be counted. Betsy, as you said earlier, we're waiting for President Trump to give his daily coronavirus briefing. We're told that should come in any minute.
Okay, we'll be standing by for that. We're going to continue on with this whole PPE conversation, though. Are the gloves that everyone is using, do they really protect us? More and more people are wearing them when they have to run errands and be out and about. But Dr. Mary Schmidt from Virginia Commonwealth University told CNBC that gloves can give us a false sense of security. She says when we are more careless when it comes to hand washing and not touching our face. So if you're wearing gloves, here is her suggestion. Imagine that whatever you touch gets wet paint on it. If you're a parent, you don't have to imagine so much. You probably know what this is like. The idea is that it makes you more mindful of the surfaces you're going to touch and how long germs can linger on your hands. Or just imagine you're changing a diaper. There's that. Who should wear them? Well, according to the CDC, anyone who is taking care of a person with COVID-19. And remember to wash your hands before and after you put the gloves on and then take them off. You just have to wash your hands, bottom line. Monica Robbins says, wash your hands, wash your hands, wash your hands. Do it. All right, still ahead on What's New. I'm not sure if I should be afraid about this one. I'm more concerned about what I'm seeing in his house in some of these stories, but Mike Polk is showing us how to cut our own hair at home. Whew, that's a lot to take in right there. All right, Stephanie, what's been clicking in Cleveland?
Betsy, Cedar Point dropped huge news today for 2020 season pass holders and people who might still be willing to buy them. We'll have those details for you. Now let's check in with Matt Wins at his house on how the weather's looking. Hi, Matt.
It's so weird. Hey there, Stephanie. Just taking a look at the radar showing snow all over Wisconsin and Michigan. That can't be right. Or can it? I've got your snowfall statistics coming up, plus the forecast. Yeah, I got you, Al.
Welcome back to What's New. Have you noticed yet? With hair salons closed for just about a month now, most of us are well overdue for a fresh cut. If you just can't wait anymore and you're feeling a tad adventurous, you might want to take matters into your own hands. As a public service to all of us, 3 News reporter Mike Polk shares his tips to cutting your own hair. This'll be good.
Yeesh, you could use a haircut. I'm kidding. I can't see you. But many people really could use a haircut. And you might be having trouble getting one because you can't leave your house. This has resulted in a lot of people cutting their own hair at home with questionable results.
Peace out, hair.
We're going for the biggie. I'm just using various knives.
I've actually had pretty much this exact same faux military type haircut my entire life, aside from one brief dalliance in junior high with a mullet. Wink. But over time, I've come to accept that when your hair color is rusty ginger and you've had a receding hairline since 5th grade, the best thing to do is keep it high and tight. So if you'll come and join me in my home salon, I'll give you some quick hair cutting tips that'll keep you looking foxy for your pets during this pandemic. Come on. Made this myself. Hope there's not a line. Thanks again for letting me cut, you guys. I'm in a hurry. Okay, so I'm diving in with the 9s, and I'm just working my way through. It always works better when you're dating someone. It really does help to have somebody do the work back there and tell you what's going on. I really miss the banter that comes with getting my hair cut. I try and get some going in here sometimes. Hey guys, how about this Ohio weather? Isn't it lousy? Well, if you don't like it, just wait 5 minutes. It'll change. That's part of the fun of coming here. This is actually a sheet that my sister left over here when she did some laundry. I believe this was clean. Okay, now we're moving down to the 6. This is where it starts to get a little racy. These are not necessarily good tips on how to cut your hair. I guess if you want your hair to look like this, which is probably a pretty rare demo, my number 1 goal when I'm cutting my hair personally is to try my darndest that when I'm done, I do not look like Forrest Gump. Just teasing it up now. Now we're just teasing it up. Boop. I miss all of you at Great Clips. Brandy, Kelly, the other Brandy who spells it with an I. Who do you guys think the Browns are going to draft? This is where it's really a lot of guesswork. What I do is if something's longer, then I just cut it off. So I'll just cut that off. This would be the best part of the haircut normally because if you're nice at Great Clips, they hit you with some powder and you smell like a cowboy all day. Take a loose, just a handful, just kind of put back there. No, it's worse, it's itchy. Don't use flour, that's my last tip. So I guess that's it. That's how you give yourself a haircut at home if you have hair like mine. How's it look, you guys? Looks great, Mike. Nice cut. Yeah. You guys are too much. I'm starting to lose it. This is Mike with a fresh new haircut, totally maintaining his sanity during quarantine for 3 News.
Mike, looking good as always, but I think losing whatever sanity you may have had left. A little aggressive, too, with the clippers. I'm not sure I would even let Mike cut my hair with that style. Very aggressive. All right, Matt Wentz joins us now to take a look at the weather. Matt, have you resorted to cutting your own hair yet? Are you to that point?
No, not yet, Jay. I'm trying to teach Emmy how to cut my hair using Mike's advice, obviously. So can you get a little bit more off the back? I feel like it's kind of patchy back there. So we'll start with the safety scissors. We'll see what happens from there. So should be good. She's doing great. Future career and hairstylist. You're doing great, honey. You keep that up during the forecast. But yeah, it's getting long. I think this is going to be really interesting if we've got another month or so of quarantine, some of our hairdos. So Jay, you're looking fine right now, but yeah, we're getting a little furry over here. All right, let's talk snowfall because I just saw some snowflakes outside. Just some flurries. This isn't going to be a big deal here this evening. But in terms of last snowfall across Northeast Ohio, we've been talking about this. Our average is April 9th, so we're beyond that now. But did you know 4 out of the last 7 years we've seen our last snowfall beyond today? So in the last half of April, the latest the snowfall has ever come down and accumulated May 10th. Yeah, that was a bad year. And 8.6 inches is the biggest amount we've had for our last snowfall. Most of the amounts are light. Why do I say that? Because Yeah, there's some snow in the forecast as we go throughout the week. Let's set it up first of all, though. We're in the 40s right now, brisk wind out of the west. That continues. We've had some gusts upwards of 30 miles per hour. You can see some of the precip. A lot of this not hitting the ground right now, but what is light. We've had some light rain mixed with some flurries at time as a weak disturbance slides down to our south. And with some daytime heating, we're back to those popcorn-looking snow showers, and they've got some wind gusts up towards Michigan, areas of Wisconsin. That will not affect us overnight tonight. But what has affected us behind that monster storm system has been the cold air. This is a pattern-changing cold front that went through yesterday, and that is going to keep us in the cool throughout the week. So let's go hour by hour with your National Design Mart forecast. We're in the 30s tonight. You can see any flurries and rain showers fading. We'll go mainly clear to start your Wednesday. I think we'll have some nice sunshine. It will be cool, though, with temps in the 30s. But then wouldn't you know it, those clouds increase by midday, and we're talking another rain-snow mix. We could have some pretty decent flakes falling, some pretty decent raindrops as well down to the south during the early afternoon and the latter half of the afternoon tomorrow, with temperatures just kind of raw near 40 degrees. Everything clears out by tomorrow night, and then all eyes turn towards Friday. So tomorrow's get outside forecast, it's not looking too great. I've got us at a 4 out of 10. If you are going to run errands, morning and midday looks great. All right, let's talk about that snow on Friday. Here comes a system. It'll be an area low pressure that develops near Missouri. That will spread an area of snowfall mixing with some rain across the area on Friday. Some of that could accumulate perhaps an inch, 2, maybe 3 slushy inches. We'll see where the track of that goes. Universal Windows Direct 7-day forecast. We're in the 40s the next couple days with those snow chances on Friday. Look at the recovery for the weekend and next week. We bring in some sunshine by next week as well with temperatures up near 60. So how's it look, Emmy? Pretty good?
Yeah.
Yeah? Any grays in there?
No.
Okay, we're trying to take after Uncle Jay, so hopefully we'll have some soon. Jay, we'll send it back to you.
Well, if you take after Uncle Jay, you're going to have a lot of gray in there. Emmy, you did a wonderful job. I think Dad looks marvelous. Well, what's Cedar Point's plan for its season pass members? Stephanie Haney's on the case. She's got that when What's New comes right back. Stay with us.
Okay. Yep. Gotcha. All right, everybody, it's time now to check in with our digital anchor, Stephanie Haney, to see what is clicking in Cleveland. Hi there, Stephanie. Happy Tuesday to you. Hi, Betsy. Happy Tuesday to you, too. All right, first up here, our Ohio Attorney General, Dave Yost. He is not standing for people trying to take advantage of others during this pandemic. His office filed a lawsuit against Chagrin Falls resident Mario Salwan, accusing him and a group of people of hoarding and trying to resell N95 respirator masks, hand sanitizer, and toilet paper on eBay for 18 times the usual price. This was under username Donkey476. So today, announcing that price gouging lawsuit, Yost said there's another word for donkey that immediately comes to mind when talking about the people accused in the lawsuit. Cedar Point made its own major announcement today as well for 2020 season pass holders. They let people know today that if you are a season pass holder for 2020, they're extending that through 2021. And this includes all season passes, regardless of purchase date. Yes, even if you bought one today, or even if you buy one in the future for the 2020 season, which was supposed to open on May 9th. And by the way, if you're on the payment plan, there is still no billing until the park reopens. And we've got one more for you now with DJ Hazmat. He's got a new rap song out, and he's tackling the issue of whether the NFL will be coming back. Just today, as Governor Mike DeWine said, he's not sure if stadiums will reopen this year. Listen to this.
Going out to all my football fans. If you love the NFL, then wash your hands. Kids driving me crazy. See, NFL trying to tease me with free agency. MLB, NBA, all been postponed. Everything's closed. Millennials go home.
Pretty strong plea right there for us to keep our act together if we want any hope of pro football coming back on time. The regular season is supposed to kick off on September 5th, but before that, Betsy, we've got that new uniform reveal coming out tomorrow, and then, of course, that virtual draft coming up where the Browns have a top 10 pick.
All right, can't wait for it. That is certainly something to look forward to. Do appreciate it. Thanks a lot, Steph. Well, you've been seeing spring springing up, and that means allergies. Or is it something worse that you're feeling? We'll take a look at how to tell the difference between normal seasonal symptoms and the coronavirus. Plus, since we all have a little more time on our hands these days while we're staying at home, or some folks are staying at home, here's some tips on reorganizing your bathroom clutter. This is what we're talking about these days. Remember the good old days when we would talk about, like, oh well. Spring is here, everybody, as we just mentioned, and we'll be showing you another idea to brighten your yard with some beautiful spring flowers.
And now, live from WKYC Studios, this is What's New.
And welcome back to What's New. Positive thought of the day. We're one day closer to the end of our national nightmare. I'm Jay Crawford from my home studio. I'm trying to do anything I can, Betsy, to put a smile on everyone's face. Betsy is back in our WKYC studios. Betsy, we do this at the bottom of the hour every day. We try to brighten up people's day, give them a little sunshine. I know you never let me down, so tell us something good, please.
All right, so today we have a little culture and art mishmash. We're going to look at a mural. Someone painted this outside the Galley building on West 25th Street in Ohio City. It reads, "We are in this together." Now, if you see something cool, whether it's on the sidewalk or, a sign, somebody doing something awesome, we want to share it with everybody because it's always nice to see something positive. Text us the idea. Text us what you're seeing at 216-344-3300. Use the word hero and a picture, if you have one, in your description. Jay?
That worked. Definitely put a smile on my face. Betsy, our top coronavirus headlines. Ohio's positive cases now stand at 7,280. That's an increase of just 4% from yesterday, and that is the smallest increase in cases since the pandemic began. There have been 324 deaths statewide. Dr. Amy Acton issuing a new order to share the names and addresses of people who have tested positive for COVID-19 with dispatchers so first responders can properly prepare when they respond to an emergency. That information, they say, will be kept confidential. And there's a high demand for Amazon deliveries. So listen to this. The company is now hiring 75,000 new people to keep up with all that demand. That's on top of the 100,000 new positions it created last month. Amazon has also raised employees' hourly pay. They have doubled overtime pay for their warehouse workers. Well, admit it, there's probably been a time or two over the past month that you've sneezed, or maybe you go on a bit of a coughing fit and you think, uh-oh, do I have it? It's funny how the mind can play tricks on us like that. Now we are firmly into allergy season. It's probably been even worse. How do you know the difference between your allergy symptoms and the symptoms of the coronavirus? Senior health correspondent Monica Robbins talks to an expert in our Health Hub.
Joining me in the Health Hub is Dr. David Lang, Chair of Allergy and Immunology at Cleveland Clinic. Some of the main symptoms of coronavirus, cough, shortness of breath, are also associated with allergies. So how can we tell the difference between allergies and coronavirus?
The people who have had these symptoms year after year are familiar with, the onset of runny nose, itchy eyes, congestion, drainage, and those are different from the symptoms that may occur with the onset of COVID-19 infection. The overwhelming majority of individuals with COVID-19, more than 9 out of 10, have a fever, and fever does not occur with allergy symptoms. Other common symptoms reported by individuals in studies from Wuhan, China, fatigue occurs in about 3 out of 4 patients. There's a shortness of breath that's commonly reported, and about 40% of patients may develop COVID infection with, and this is heralded by the onset of gastrointestinal symptoms.
Information is coming out about red, itchy eyes in regards to coronavirus as a symptom. It's also a marker of allergies. So how can you distinguish?
A distinguishing feature is the onset of fever. So if you take your temperature and it's normal, that should be very reassuring, because more than 9 out of 10 patients with COVID infection will have a fever.
Is loss of taste and smell something people could also experience with allergies?
It's possible to have a reduction or even a loss of your sense of smell if you have very prominent allergy symptoms. But about 9 out of 10 patients who have COVID infection will manifest a fever. So in the absence of fever, even if you've lost your sense of smell, it would be unlikely that you have COVID infection.
Well, this loss of sense of smell and taste was something that came out earlier. A lot of people are kind of focusing on that as maybe something to look out for. I have to tell you, Russ, every morning I wake up and I get my coffee and I smell it and I think, oh, good, I can still smell my coffee and I can taste it too. So we're all kind of on edge about all of this.
It was what Jay was saying. Every little thing kind of sets us off.
It definitely does. And there's so many people who are just ready for all of this to be over with, but we're kind of trying to take our time on all of that.
Yes, we are among them.
You have a little bit of a checkup on that.
That is true. Are you ready for some headlines, Betsy?
Yes, please.
Okay, here we go. China is now reporting a spike in coronavirus cases, new cases, I should say. The news is now fueling fears of a re-emergence, and Chinese officials believe it could be from cases imported back into the country. They've imposed new restrictions on those entering China from Russia. Here at home, a number of Cleveland police cars were sterilized in the city's Muni lot today. The sterilization company Masters of Disaster donated its services to clean the patrol cars to help keep officers safe. And with more and more using the parks and trails these days, the Ohio and Erie Canal Coalition is encouraging you to keep the areas clean. You may not know this, but all this week is Clean Up the Canalway Week. If you go out, take a bag and pick up litter along the way. Then post a picture with the hashtag Canal Cleanup between now and April 22nd, and you could win a restaurant gift card. That's when you can use that, Betsy, when the restaurant's open again.
Exactly.
Don't try to use it now.
Unless you can do takeout.
You can do that. That is true.
All right. Thank you so much, Russ. Appreciate it. Well, speaking of some news, a new policy from Ticketmaster has some up in arms tonight. In the past, if your concert or sporting event got canceled or rescheduled, you could get a refund if you couldn't go on the new date. Well, that isn't the way anymore. Now, only events that are canceled are refundable. Ticketmaster says the refund policies for postponed events are set up by event organizers, and their refund policy is posted on their website. So make sure you read the fine print before you buy.
Betsy, once upon a time, many years ago, Jane Fonda helped whip Americans into shape with her famous workouts. Well, they are back, and Stephanie Haney tells us all about it in today's Pop Break.
Demi Lovato is opening up to Harper's Bazaar about her life, love, and even her overdose in 2018 when she says she had a hard time accepting love and support. And even though they don't talk anymore, she's sending well wishes to ex Wilmer Valderrama, who's now engaged, saying, "I wish him nothing but the best." As for her future, Lovato, who is bisexual, thinks it could be fun to parent with another woman and is open to anything. Prince Harry is apparently open to what's to come in his new life, although admitting to longtime friend Dr. Jane Goodall, it's a bit challenging right now. Goodall says she's been in touch with Harry and Meghan Markle, and overall, they're excited about this official start of their new chapter without senior royal duties. Right now, this new chapter has them living in a secluded compound in LA. Activist Jane Fonda can now add designer to her resume with a limited edition line of tracksuits. All proceeds will go to fighting climate change and helping service workers impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic. The price tag, $84.99. If you want to get moving in those new sweats, Fonda is bringing back her iconic workouts on TikTok. And Brad Pitt kicked off the premiere of HGTV's new show Celebrity IOU with the Property Brothers last night.
Drew and I are proud to join Brad Pitt as he gives the gift of home to a very special person in his life.
Pitt teamed up to help turn a rundown garage into a guest suite, makeup station, and storage area for his longtime makeup artist, Jean Ann Black. Jean has been Brad's makeup artist for close to 30 years. She's worked on him with almost 40 films, and Brad says that she's like family to him, so it was really something special for him to get to work on this for her. And Jay, apparently, by the time he left the set, the Property Brothers say he knew everyone's names, the entire production crew, and the construction crew.
Pretty impressive. I actually happened to watch that show. Pretty good debut. Good show. Steph, thanks. We appreciate it. We have another room you can check off your to-do list. We've been organizing your house room by room. This time, our expert weighs in on how to clean your bathroom. That's coming up. Plus, Matt has your weather. Hey, Matt.
That just can't be right. What is happening? Jay, we've got a big problem on the radar. It's showing snow all over areas of Wisconsin and Michigan. That snow's heading our way. What is going on with the forecast? Well, it is still April. We've got the next 7 days for you coming up.
All right, well, normally our taxes would be due, but this year the deadline is July 15th. So in today's pop quiz, we are testing your knowledge on taxes. Back in 1913, tax rates ranged from 1 to 7% on incomes above $3,000. So what was the average annual income in 1913? Was it $5,000, $1,200, or $800? Again, that's per year. We'll be right back. You know, normally we would try and cue the drama music, dun, 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 because tomorrow would be tax day, right? Well, we asked what the average annual income was in 1913, and according to the IRS, the answer is $800 a year. That was the average annual income. No word on if that was adjusted for inflation. We are doing weather a little differently, or we're continuing to do it a little differently as we're continuing to do some social distancing. Matt, one of the forerunners in working from home. We featured Emmy giving him a haircut earlier, but now what are you and River up to?
Well, River and I, Betsy, you would enjoy this. We're playing with magnets. This magnet can-do science kit is so much fun. My favorite part is to put something on top of the table. I wasn't planning on doing the experiment, but we might as well do it. And watch, River will get the ball. Ready? Get the ball. And then I can move it underneath the table, and he's all confused. See that? Everything's moving. He doesn't care. He does not care. I'm amazed by that. That's amazing. Here, play with those magnets. Go stick them on the fridge.
Okay.
Anyway, it's a lot of fun. A lot of science going on here, and Emmy's going to color a beautiful picture for us that probably won't be done by the end of the weather forecast, but I could post that on social media. That looks really good, honey. All right, Betsy, you talked about the allergies earlier, comparing coronavirus symptoms with allergy symptoms. So let's talk about the sneezecast for tomorrow. It's tree pollen that you are sneezing with right now. There's really no other pollen in the atmosphere. Grass pollen kicks in June, July-ish, but the tree pollen is at a moderate level, and that's not something you see. It's not once you see all the pollen floating around, it's all the little stuff that happens as those trees start to leaf out, and that is certainly going on. But it's going to be kind of halted over the next couple days. We've got some rain, even some snow showers, especially out towards Lake Geauga, Ashtabula counties, some raindrops down to the south. This is a quick-moving weather system that'll skirt by. All the snow showers you see up in Wisconsin and Michigan, those will fade as the sun goes down. Those are diurnally driven, we call it, driven by that daytime heating, so we don't have to contend with that. But we are going to clear out eventually tonight once that system zips by. We've got a cold night in front of us. Temperature is going to drop back into the 30s, much like last night. All right, let's take you hour by hour through that National Design Mart forecast. Temperatures tomorrow morning in the 30s. I think we have bright sunshine to start our Wednesday, but things will quickly change as our next quick-moving weather system moves in. We'll go from sunshine in the morning to clouds around midday, and then a rain-snow mix moves into the area from west to east. Going to be kind of sloppy as we go throughout the early afternoon, even towards the evening area as that system moves by. Temperatures just kind of nasty. We're going to be upper 30s, lower 40s, a decent wind out of the northwest, a good indoor day. But things will quickly change tomorrow evening. It will be a cold night Wednesday night, but Thursday looking pretty good at this point. So tomorrow's get outside forecast, due to kind of the sloppiness that'll be moving in, I've got us at a 4 out of 10, a good book reading day or play with magnets perhaps. Morning and midday are the two times that you would want to get out if you have some stuff going on. Then our attention turns to an area low pressure that will be just as quick moving through the area. This arrives on Friday. You can see that strip of precipitation that we'll have with that, likely in the form of some big old wet snowflakes during the daytime Friday. May mix with some rain. It's not going to be pretty, but some of the snowfall rates with that, depending on the track of that low, could put down an inch, 2 inches, maybe 3 inches, depending again on where that low goes. Right now centering our southernmost locations, but with temperatures in the 40s, not expecting a lot of impacts. The Universal Windows Direct 7-day forecast keeps us in the 40s the next 3 days. A nice recovery in the weekend. All eyes on that weekend, Betsy. That'll be the next time to really get outside and explore because temps back into the 50s. So, Emmy, you done yet?
No.
Nope.
Okay. You can find Matt online on social media at Wintz Weather, W-I-N-T-Z, Wintz Weather. He'll post a picture of that, I'm sure. Very proud papa there. Thanks a lot, Matt. Well, since it is going to be kind of yucky and sloppy tomorrow, maybe one of the things that you can put on your to-do list is to do what isn't normally getting done. Organizing the bathroom. Do we know how to have a party or what? Now, the kids' bathroom always seems to be the biggest problem. So we talked to an organizing expert, Kristen Gambicini, about ways to do so. And she likes to start with the towels and using shower curtain clips.
These have been a lifesaver. So I have hooks on the wall, and actually the hooks are numbered. We're very conscious about everybody having a spot to hang their towel and not sharing towels or anything like that. So we have hooks. The amazing thing about these is, so you hook your towel onto them, and then these hang from the hook, and it's like a no-fail solution to keep towels hanging up in the bathroom.
Seems so simple, right? You're thinking to yourself, oh, I could probably do that. Keep in mind, this is a mother of 8. 8. Kristen says she got the idea from her grandmother. How do grandmas know what to do? Anyway, well, she also tackled the issue of those crowded sink tops where everyone wants to have space for their own things.
What I like to do is I actually have a pantry organizer. It's like an over-the-door pantry organizer, and it has shelves on it, but I have it in my bathroom. So it's on the back of the bathroom door, and it holds the washcloths, and it holds the lotions and all of those little things that you find kind of pile up on your bathroom counter. So it's behind the door, it's pushed out of the way a little bit, but it's still accessible, and it has worked like a charm for us.
Every time I talk to her, these ideas come to me. It's amazing. She is going to bring us more organizing tips as the time continues. You can also visit her website. We'll post a link to that on our WKYC.com/what's new page. And of course, we'll bring you more of those features with her right here. Well, it's time to start getting your yard ready for spring. We're going to head outside and show you some spring flowers to help brighten up your landscape. And a Northeast Ohio family is having some fun while social distancing. Hear their rendition of the song Cups.
Hey, Ohio has won the battle against the coronavirus. Question for you. I hate to be a pain, but the prompter, the first two letters are cut off again. It's not the end of the world. Mic check, 1, 2, 3. It's time to start brightening up your yard with spring flowers. Mic check. Ohio has won the first battle against the coronavirus, but Dr. Amy Acton says we are still in peak and we're still working to steady and flatten that curve. Mic check, 1, 2, 3. But state leaders said coronavirus is still here and it will be here for some time. Now, we also know that the governors from surrounding states have talked with each other, they've shared information, and they're learning from one another as we continue to move forward in all of this. Ohio has won the first battle against the coronavirus, but Dr. Amy Acton says we are still in peak and we need to continue to flatten. Cool, thank you.
Welcome back to What's New. It's time to start brightening up your yard, and you always do that with spring flowers. We teamed up with Petites to show us the perfect plants for this time of year. Taking advantage of the great weather, Noelle Aiken from Petite Garden Supply is here, and today we're going to put some new plants in. We're going to add some flowers and color to the bed.
Absolutely.
So what have we done to get started here?
Well, to get started, lots of spring color. A lot of people ask us if we can plant at this time of year. Absolutely. If your soil's draining, if you can get out there and prepare that hole, put planting mix, compost, whatever you can do to amend that soil, and go ahead and plant.
All right.
There's plenty of trees, shrubs, perennials, and of course the pansies and violas. They're cold weather crops. They love it out here at this time of year.
So we've dug a hole for everything. We've put the pot in there. Now basically it's just a matter of taking the flower out, putting it in the hole, and what do we put in there with it?
Right, so right behind you, Jay, is the Biotone.
Okay.
And Biotone is a plant starter. And I'm seeing for that 4-inch pot viola, it's just like maybe a couple of tablespoons in there. Yep,
right there?
You're good.
Okay.
And then you're gonna pop the viola out, squeeze that pot a little bit, and there you go. The root system should come out for you. There you go. Look at those white roots.
Yeah, very nice.
Now remember, break up the roots before you get it in there.
You do?
Yeah,
Just with your thumb?
Yeah, score the root system. Make sure that it's not continually growing around the pot, and it'll move out into the soil. And then you go ahead and install it and just go ahead and push the soil, the amended soil back around it, and you're planted. And when we get done, you just want to water everything thoroughly.
Okay, very good. How long will this give me color for?
As long as it stays cool up until we get to the heat of summer. Real common springtime crop because everybody wants color, early, but the other plants aren't ready to plant because it's too cold usually at night.
Right.
So you're planting.
Now these won't come back up next spring, will they?
They may, but they may reseed themselves. Okay?
So they may just pop right up.
They might pop right up for you.
What are the chances? 50-50?
Yeah, I'd say about 50-50.
Okay, so we put all of the flowers and all of the plants into the hole, added some fertilizer. Now it's just a matter of sunshine and water and letting them grow.
Right, absolutely.
How much water should I put on these right away?
So we always talk about 1 inch of water per week. So we had a pretty good storm last night. That would have taken care of your watering probably for the week.
Okay.
So yeah.
Now that they've just been put into the ground, should I water them with a bucket or a little?
For sure.
Okay, very good. Well, it looks nice. It adds a little bit of color. It's not a lot of work. We probably did the whole thing in a total of 5 or 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And it spruces up the area, gives it some color.
Absolutely.
Noelle, thank you very much.
Oh, my pleasure.
Not exactly a gardener, but I promise you, if I can do it, you can do it. It's very simple, and it does add a lot of color, makes things look nice and spring and bright outside. Well, a Shaker Heights family is getting creative with social distancing. Stephanie, Lauren, and Kristen Gaber posted a video of them doing a rendition of the song Cups with new words about the coronavirus. Here's a clip as we head to our final break.
We wash our hands 6,000 times a day, and we can never touch our face. Spend holidays in quarantine.
Look, it's Grandpa on a screen, saving the world just by staying at our place. When we zoom, when we zoom, when we zoom, when we zoom, you're gonna miss me in the room. I'm gonna watch the Tiger King. I'm gonna kitchen dance and sing. Oh, you're gonna miss me in the room.
I just found out we have something under a tarp. And now we're going to find out what it is. Shall we reveal it? Dun, 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 dun. It's a coronavirus car. A car maker in India designed it. The nation is under a 21-day lockdown because of the coronavirus, and the creator said he wanted to drive home the importance of people staying at home. It kind of looks like the Google mapping car. He said he plans to drive it around his home down after getting permission from police. So there you go, Jay. Not quite sure that's going to be a hot seller, but you just never know.
Yeah, I think it's creepy. I don't want it.
All right. Well, thank you so much for watching What's New with us today. Happy Tuesday, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow on Wednesday.
What Matters Most with Russ and Laura starts now.
We could see ongoing